Whoa, fuck! Pretty much every game dev under the sun has or will eventually remake one of their older games. And I did exactly that a year ago, remaking a game I called Bean Wars. It wasn't anything Oscar worthy, but it was okay. But I have little to no creativity, so I'm doing it again. Should I be doing this, or should I just come up with something new for once? I don't actually know. I think I might be mentally ill or something.
Did I ever tell you what the definition of insanity is? Insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again, expecting shit to change. That is crazy.
Just for some context, Bean Wars was originally a game I made in 2021. It was one of my first games, and as you can see, the gameplay and graphics aren't exactly outstanding. It was just a basic first-person shooter about beans. A few weeks after this, I then made Bean Wars 2 for some reason, which is actually worse than the original. Then in 2023, last year, I decided to remake the original game, because why not? And now I'm doing it again, the third time. Or fourth, I don't even know anymore. Now, last time I used something called photon pun for connecting players over the internet, but that stuff was just garbage. In short, when the game had more than 6 players, not 6 players in a lobby, but a player count of 6, the game would just not work and lag a lot. Yo guys, I think my game might be lag.
Oh man.
And to fix this problem, we can just use a thing called mirror for the networking instead of photon pun. It also has built-in Steam support as a bonus, so I can actually pop this game on Steam. But isn't having to learn a whole new networking system hard? No, it's not, because they function practically the same way with a few changes. So, I obviously need to know how mirror works before starting on anything, and using this nice small tutorial series made by Dapper Dino. What? 23 videos? And done. That was a pretty good tutorial series, and now I have a basic understanding of how mirror works, so we can just start the game now. Lucky for me, before actually starting this project, I was making another game. I don't remember what it was about, but for some reason I created a whole new player character with a new weapon system. So why not, you know, just... Whoa, is this a whole new player character just appeared out of nowhere? Man, I've seen some crazy things in my days, but we are missing something though. A bean. So I just remodeled the old one, and there we go. This is Bean Wars. Nah, you actually thought? Trust me, there's a lot more that goes into multiplayer games. Like... This is probably the most important thing when it comes to multiplayer games, because if one player shot a gun on their screen and it did not shoot a gun on the other player's screen, would it really be a multiplayer game? Oh, so we just sync over everything the player does to the other players? No. There's a fine line of what to sync and what not to sync. Take shooting for example. It may seem very simple, but it has a lot of underlying stuff to actually make it work. For example, if you want your player to see an enemy shooting a gun, what do you need? Well, the basic things you need is you need the bullet trajectory, the animation for the gun, the muzzle flash, and the bullet impact. And you can probably already see what the most important thing is. The bullet trajectory. How do we know where the bullet is gonna go? We can either calculate the bullet trajectory on everyone's PC, we can calculate it on the client and send it up to all the other players, we can make it up on the spot, or we can get the server to calculate it for everyone and then send it to everyone. If you pick the last one, then you're technically correct. But yeah, I didn't use this one for Bean Wars though. I practically do everything client-side in Bean Wars, which, if you know a bit about networking, is not good. Mainly because of cheating. But like I said before, the normal thing to do is get the player's input, then send that to the server. The server then verifies if you can actually shoot. And if you can, then it sends the bullet trajectory to all the other players, including you. And now we just need to do this for everything else in the game. Now when you shoot on one player screen, you also shoot on the other player screen. Let's go! I also did this for the other stuff like moving, rotating the player, doing animations, all that. Now that we have most of the bare bones stuff complete, we can add some polish using a very nice transition. And yes, I am using the exact same shader I've been using for all my other games. But if I do say so myself, it is looking pretty nice. But do you know what isn't nice? Not being subscribed to me. Since you've already watched this far, you should you should click that button. Why? Here's my wallet. Anyways, after adding all these features, I thought it would be a pretty good time to actually test the game. Yes, I didn't test the game up until this point. And just show the clip. Yeah, the game is completely fucking broken. Now, if I already knew it was this broken to begin with, why the fuck would I test it? Well, since I'm using Steam to connect the players, I can't actually run the game 2 times on my PC. So I'm using a program to run it 2 times on my PC. But apparently some features that work on my PC don't actually work in practice. So, yeah. Well, why don't you just buy another PC to test it on? Here's my wallet. Yeah, I don't have any smooth transition here, just... Now that we actually have some features in the game and polish, we can actually like add contents in the game. We haven't done that up until this point. Now, this map that I've been testing on, to put it lightly, is pretty fucking boring. So let's start laying a plan for the new map's layout, find out what works and what doesn't work with the use of playtesting to make the greatest map of all time. So I just ripped the map from my older version of Bean Wars. I mean, since we already playtested this map over a year ago, we already know that the layout works. Good enough. And with a new map, we also need some guns to actually, shoot all the players with. We got some of the popular ones. AVP, AK, M16, Slingshot. And since this isn't Call of Duty, there's no gunsmith or loadout system. So the way you actually choose what guns you want to play with is by picking that before starting the game. You can like pick the gun pool. And a gun pool is just, a pool of guns. I made 5. The normal one, which is just the normal military guns. We got Sticks and Stones, my favorite. 1 gold shot. Snipers only. And hand-to-hand combat. Oh yeah, I added melee combat. There is one more thing we're missing though, a thing that all games should have. A thing so important that players will immediately notice it's missing, right when they start the game. Cosmetics! Oh yeah, and I also added a main menu as like a, a secondary thing. We now have the main menu complete, basically most of the gameplay done. Now we just need to actually connect them using a lobby. Here it is, the lobby. A big step up from the big empty great box in the middle of nowhere. Well, okay, it's not fully empty, there's also this. Let me give you a tour of the lobby. Over here we have the spawning area, very cozy. Here we have the ready up button. Here we got the all new parkour course we just talked about. And here's the legal gray zone. With the lobby in place, we only need a few more things to make the game just that bit better. There's now UI for the winner of the match. I didn't get Steam profile pictures to work, so I just added my own. And of course, more cosmetics. And now, I think the game is practically done. Or well, on par with the old Bean Wars. I'm gonna let you decide that though and show you some side-by-side views. I'm finishing the video and the game isn't out yet, but I will update the description if the game is out on Steam, and at some point it will. But the game is still very bugged, and will probably also be at release. Play at your own risk. Oh, the video is almost at 10 seconds? Wait, no, 10 minutes, what the fuck?